Fun fact, 5% of United States lands are covered by car parkings. And this is only car parkings and not roads. I'm Arzoo, I'm an architect and a storyteller, and in this video series I'm gonna tell about all the ways that your city design and architecture can impact you and all the aspects of your life, and why you should, as a citizen, care about how your cities are designed. So many cities of today are not made for pedestrians. They are designed for car dependency. A lot of time in your life, you might have, just wanted to go to do some groceries, or might have wanted to just go take your child from their school, and you said, why not walking today? And you might have faced this, or this, or this. While, you looked at roads and they look good and they look well maintained and they look wide, and you're like, they're more welcoming for me. A lot of us, we choose to use cars in our cities, not because we have this deep love for motorized vehicles, but it's because, our cities are designed in a way to push us to do so. When our city design pushes us for even our tiniest errands to take cars, we end up missing on the simplest act of walking. When I was in Iran, and in Iran, still the idea of modernity equals car dependency. And so I had to go to gym. Not because I wanted to feel strong, not because I wanted to feel good about myself, not because I wanted to, meet new people, but I had to go to gym, not to be overweight from the age of 10. And I lived in another country before I moved to Italy, in Milan. And Milan is not the most walkable place in the world, but much better than Iran. So when I started living in Milan, my weight stabilized only with living in the city, not by exercising, not by going to gym, but by only living in the city. So if your city is not designed for humans, is not designed for pedestrians, is not designed for active modes of mobility, you are gonna have to take your cars to do everything. And that takes away so much from your daily exercises, and you will need another source to introduce simple movement of a human being to your life. And you have to go to gym. It's not a choice anymore. So some fun facts. 5% of United States lands are covered by car parkings. And this is only car parkings and not roads. Another fun fact, even in Los Angeles, a city that struggles with its housing shortage, there are more parking spots than housing. And look at this picture. Can you believe that the yellow parts are buildings and the pink are the parking spaces? So living in a city that is designed for cars and not people doesn't only take away from our daily movement and exercise and being able to just be freely able to walk, it takes away so much space that could be a park for children, housing, affordable housing, a community building. So we are giving so much of our space that we have in a city to car parks and to roads. But this is not it. When a city is designed for cars and not for humans, meaning having huge roads, not connected sidewalks, or sidewalks that are not in good situation, it doesn't only put us at the risk of being obese, and it doesn't only take away space from other many other functions that could be more useful for us than a parking space. It also affects our mental health. So let's just think about it. As you walk around a walkable city or a walkable neighborhood on your 2 feet and not on 4 wheels, so with the speed that a human could walk or run or bike or be on a wheelchair, you actually see people's faces. You see people's faces, and when day after day walk in your neighborhood, go to your local shop, you start to recognize those faces. You start to talk to people. You start to chat to your barista, wave at the shop owner, see a couple of cute dogs on the way, say hi to them. And that affects so much your mental health because you feel a part of a bigger, community of people when you're living in a neighborhood, not some individualized homeowners that every day they get into their cars, they don't see each other. And another fact, when you know the people that are living and working in your neighborhood, you feel much safer. Some nights when I come later at nights, when I see that the local shop or the local cafe is open at night, I feel safe because I feel if something was to happen to me, here, there are people that know me and they have my back. And so I feel much safer. when I just see them existing there. So sometimes, actually a lot of times, safety is about building a trusted community and not adding 500 more police cars to your neighborhood. And believe me when I say infrastructure matters. I stopped biking in Milan, and I know a lot of my other friends that have stopped biking in Milan after some incidents that happened in the city. Just in the past couple of months, 3 to 4 people have died because they were biking. In Milan, a lot of bike roads, they're not continuous. They end up in the middle of nowhere. So you have to either choose to go to sidewalk and disturb the people who are walking, children that are walking, and create an unsafe environment for them, or go to the main roads where cars are speeding and be at the risk of being injured. So infrastructure matters for us to be able to take choices that are good for us, that are good for our health, that are good for our mental health. And more than that, a city that encourages using cars instead of walking, it's much more polluted. Some fun facts. Transportation was responsible for a quarter of the EU's total emissions in 2019. And we are talking about Europe. Europe is much more walkable than so many other places on Earth. Another fun fact. Transport is the only sector that its emissions has increased since the 90s. Another fun fact, 60% of all transport emissions in EU comes from cars, individual cars. And if you're thinking about electric cars as this utopia solution to this problem, let me just show you these two images. First, electric cars are not gonna solve the problem of traffic congestion. Gas cars, electric cars are the same number of cars. And when we talk about electric cars, it really depends where the electricity comes from if we are talking about pollution. So where is the source of electricity? And also the battery in the electric cars. What are we talking about when we are talking about the resources that are needed to make those batteries, those huge batteries for electric cars? There are a lot of folks that might say that I don't want to lose my freedom to move. I don't want walkable cities because, I don't want to be forced to stay in my neighborhood. Let's not mix the need for freedom to move with the need for cars. We can have access to means of transportation, active and non-active, that can be way cheaper, safer, more fun, more accessible, and less polluting. When we are talking about walkable cities, we are talking about cities that you do not have to use cars. So if you're talking about freedom and control, do you feel you are more in control if you are able to choose between biking or walking, using your wheelchair, or using safe and accessible public transportation, and if needed, cars? Or do you feel more in control if you have to? And remember, if you have to pay for a car, pay for its insurance, pay for its taxes, pay for its gas, only to be able to exist, only to be able to do tiniest things for your living. In which situation are you more in control? Talking about walkable cities is not about not having cars. It's about giving more options that are good for all of us. It helps us to live in a safer environment. It helps us to live in a community environment that we can feel connected to others. It helps us be more active and more physically healthy and live in a less polluted environment. So let's just imagine cities where kids, can easily play outside. You don't have to be worried that a car would hit them or someone would take them away because it's a safe environment. Think about teens that, they would have their local spots and go and hang out with their friends. Adults that could walk to work instead of spending hours in traffic. And elderly that will not feel alone because they can just take a walk in their neighborhood and feel a part of their surrounding. This video is not to make you feel depressed. This video is not to make you feel overwhelmed. This video is about making you understand that we have the power to change, that all of us as citizens, architects, designers, we can change the way that our cities operate and we can make it be better for all of us. And these are just some examples. It takes some design thinking and some caring citizens, but it is possible. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, you can support in any ways that you feel like. If you found this useful, share it with a friend. If you found it relatable, maybe share your experience in the comments. Until the next video on why you should care about how your city is designed, take care of yourself, and we'll talk soon.